Harry has finally broken his silence after suffering one of the biggest legal defeats in his campaign against the British tabloids, and he's not holding back. The Duke of Sussex has slammed the High Court's decision as a whitewash, accusing the system of failing to hold one of Britain's biggest newspaper publishers accountable. But why is Harry calling the verdict a cover-up, and what exactly happened inside this years-long courtroom battle? Here's everything you need to know. For Prince Harry, this wasn't just another lawsuit. It was the final chapter in his long-running war against the British press. But instead of the victory he hoped for, the court dismissed every allegation made against the publisher of the Daily Mail, leaving Harry and 6 other high-profile claimants facing not just defeat, but potentially massive legal costs. The High Court case brought together an extraordinary group of public figures: Prince Harry, Sir Elton John, David Furnish, Sadie Frost, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, and Simon Hughes. Together, they accused Associated Newspaper Limited, better known as A&L, of running a years-long campaign of unlawful information gathering spanning nearly 2 decades. According to the claimants, A&L didn't just rely on journalism. They alleged the publisher hired private investigators who illegally intercepted voicemail messages, tapped landline calls, and even used a practice known as blagging, where confidential information like medical records, travel details, and personal data is obtained through deception. Harry alone pointed to 14 newspaper articles published between 2001 and 2013, claiming they could only have been written using illegally obtained information. But Associated Newspapers denied every allegation. The publisher called the claims absurd smears and insisted all of its reporting came from perfectly legitimate journalistic sources. Throughout the trial, the company argued there simply was no credible evidence proving any unlawful activity had taken place. After an 11-week trial and months of deliberation, Mr. Justice Nicklin delivered his verdict, and it was a complete win for the Daily Mail publisher. The judge dismissed all 97 allegations made by the claimants, saying there simply wasn't enough evidence to prove that the information had been obtained illegally. The judge acknowledged that many of the articles contained highly private information, but he made one crucial point. Just because a newspaper couldn't explain exactly where every piece of information came from didn't automatically mean it had been obtained illegally. In his words, that was not a permissible approach. The burden of proof, he said, remained with the claimants, and that burden had not been met. And that's exactly where Harry says justice failed. Reacting after the verdict, Harry described the ruling as a whitewash. According to his spokesperson, the court accepted the publisher's explanation that the stories came from legitimate sources, even though, Harry argued, the publisher could not positively explain how many of those stories were actually sourced. Harry believes that approach prevented the court from properly investigating what he claims was 2 decades of unlawful behavior. In his view, the verdict allowed one of Britain's most powerful newspaper groups to escape accountability for what he describes as serious invasions of privacy. During the trial earlier this year, Harry gave deeply emotional evidence. He told the court he had lived with what he called paranoia beyond belief. He described constantly feeling watched, monitored, and fearing that intimate details of his private life could somehow end up in the newspapers. At one point, he became visibly emotional while speaking about Meghan Markle, saying the media had made her life an absolute misery. Harry's lawyer argued that years of highly intrusive reporting had caused lasting psychological damage. According to the legal team, the Duke had endured a sustained campaign of attacks simply because he dared to challenge powerful newspaper organizations in public. Associated newspapers, however, celebrated the verdict. Editor-in-chief Paul Dacre called it a momentous victory for the Mail and an overwhelming vindication of its journalism. The publisher said every single article was legitimately sourced and claimed many of the more sensational allegations, like planting bugs or illegally accessing bank accounts, were never backed by credible evidence. The company also revealed how expensive this legal battle became. According to A&L, legal costs on both sides have now crossed £50 million. That's roughly $67 million US. And because the claimants lost the case, Harry and the others could now face an enormous bill for those costs as well. This lawsuit also marks the end of Harry's final major legal challenge aimed at reforming British tabloid culture. Over the past few years, he has fought multiple high-profile battles against newspaper groups over allegations of phone hacking, privacy breaches, and unlawful reporting. While he has secured victories in some earlier cases, this latest defeat closes another significant chapter in that campaign. Legally, the case may now be over, but publicly, the debate is far from finished. Harry insists the judgment failed to uncover the truth. Associated Newspapers says the verdict completely clears its name, and once again, the Duke's complicated relationship with British tabloids remains one of the most controversial and closely watched stories surrounding the royal family.